It's Mega Man Battle and Chase, released for Japanese PlayStation 1s in 1997, and then over to the PAL regions a year later, and then later included as a bonus game in the Mega Man X collection for PlayStation 2, which is what we're playing off of today. Because if every other mascot under the sun and beyond can have a gimmicky kart racing game, then why not the good old Rockman? We could have gotten this game around these parts, but didn't because Sony of America wanted more Bubsy 3D or something, I don't know. Who cares? So you've got 10 robotic racers to choose from the get-go. Mega Man, Roll, Proto Man, Bass, Guts Man, Iceman, Spring Man, Napalm Man, Shadow Man, and Quick Man, with an additional unlockable driver in Dr. Wily himself, who gets unveiled later on. Duo's also a hidden racer you can unlock, although he's a little harder to unlock. Also, no Turbo Man? Seriously? The most obvious inclusion to a Mega Man racing game is the racing robot. But I guess we gotta put in Spring Man. Okay, digression over. Each racer has their own handling, speed, acceleration, stats, things of that nature, but they also have their own unique special ability that can be executed at any time, but for the full effect, you'd be best served using said ability when this power meter on the left is filled. So Mega Man, for example, can fire buster shots from his Rushmobile, but a full power meter will allow him to fire a charge shot. Roll can jump in the air with her Beatmobile, but a full meter lets her pull off a spinning jump kick thing, and so on and so forth. Much like in other mascot kart racers, you can acquire power-ups by knocking out a number of grunts on screen. These power-ups are temporary, ranging from shielded speed boosts to mines being placed on the track and so on and so forth. On the surface, there's not much to Battle and Chase. It's a fairly straightforward little kart racer with some extra abilities for the various racers to fend off opponents and gain the upper hand. It's pretty standard fare for a game of this ilk, which brings us to the customization bit of Battle and Chase. So the game has three main modes of play: Grand Prix, Versus, and Time Trial. Versus is a single race against the computer or another human opponent, with a couple of drone racers to fill the slots, your Joes and Devils and Thing Racers thing. Time Trial is pretty self-explanatory. The Grand Prix mode is your main mode, pretty much. You pick a racer, you win races, and then you get to pick which part to steal from the rival racer on the track. The general idea is that you win races to earn parts, and then you could use these parts to upgrade your own driving machine to varying stats. More acceleration, more traction, no drifting, that sort of thing. It's a neat way to play into the whole Mega Man gimmick of gaining the powers of defeated robots, giving you incentive to play the tracks over and over again, with each attempt becoming more difficult before you obtained all the major parts of an opponent's vehicle to be customized for future use. On top of that, you could take this custom driving machine that you've created over to the other two modes, possibly pitting them against other players' own customized mechanical maniacs, and with 3 safe slots available, you could experiment with different cars and combinations, which is a novel attempt at replayability if you're into that sort of thing. Now when it comes to the actual kart racing portion, it works well enough, I suppose. There's close to a dozen tracks to play through, mostly the usual sort of things such as city tracks, mountain tracks, ice tracks, and whatnots. Some are fairly straightforward, while others have gimmicks such as stun panels, switches, and whatnots, and some are just headache-inducing, not much helped by, well, much of anything really. Which isn't to say that it's not playable. Battle and Chase controls well enough for a kart racer. It's not overly sensitive, it supports both analog and digital inputs for you DualShock folks, and the tracks are manageable for the most part, except for that one with the switches. That one could go fly a kite. But other than that, yeah, the frame rate could have been smoother, but it's playable, it's adequate enough, I suppose. For the most part, and taking into account the time and place this was originally released in, Battle and Chase has some... Well, the karts are alright in their default states, and what comes afterwards, being overhauled, is another story entirely, but whatever, it's fine, it's fun. It's a fairly decent looking kart racer for the most part. Some of the tracks are ugly as sin, but the others are perfectly fine. There's some pop-in elements for the distant stuff, which is standard for a game of this ilk long before they discovered fog, which was a nicer, smoother transition. The frame rate's rather janky and not smooth, which makes the game not run smoothly, which is key to a solid racing game, but whatever. In terms of the audio, it's adequate fare. Mostly lighthearted, cheery audio tracks to go along with some stock sound effects and a handful of voice bites. And that's it. Yeah, didn't think there'd be a day where a thoughtless and generic statement would be used to describe audio in a Mega Man title, but there you go. Okay, it's got that catchy roll theme that we've heard countless times by now, but other than that, it's just meh. Overall, Mega Man Battle and Chase is a competently made and enjoyable enough little kart racing game on the PlayStation, but nothing really special. The customization you get from earned parts is a nice touch, but isn't enough to bring Battle and Chase to that upper Mario Kart echelon that makes it memorable or anything worthy of being turned into its own franchise. The janky frame rate doesn't help matters either. Still, for a nice, simple kart racing mascot thing, it's alright, it's fun for a lark, and otherwise pretty harmless. If you're into that sort of thing, it's one worth checking out, but otherwise, you're not really missing much.